Good afternoon from InvestSharp. This is Randy Smotone with your Wednesday, December the 9th market update. On the economic front, today's weekly EIA petroleum status report kind of contained mixed signals. On the negative side, for pricing power, there was 2.5 million barrel build in crude, there was a 2.2 million barrel build in gasoline, and a 1.6 million build in distillates. On the positive side, for pricing power, there was 3.8 million barrel drawdown in total crude inventories. So the light sweet crude contract futures, we follow the January contract right now, fell $1.95 to settle at $70.67 a barrel. The sovereign debt worries out of Greece, Dubai, and Spain seemed to weigh on the market in early trading, but the market did make a comeback late in the day. And Bank of America announced that it has completed its previous announced TARP repayment. And we've also had some news out of Citi that they're wanting to pay back their TARP. I'm sure they do, but I'm not sure where that money's going to come from them anyway. Thursday, we have the jobless claims, international trade, the EIA gas report, treasury budget, and then Friday we have retail sales, import-export prices, consumer sentiment, and business inventories. The dollar, gold, silver, copper, and oil were all actually down together today, which I thought was kind of interesting. Let's take a look at the Dow. Dow closed up 51 points to 10,337. The S&P closed up 4 points to 1,095, and the Nasdaq closed up 10 points to 2,183. The Dow and the Nasdaq had the largest percent gains at 0.50% and 0.49%, and the S&P was the weakest, only up 0.37%. So, big surprise, we're in this channel. It's like we're always going to be in this channel. So that kind of looks the same. Let's look at the SPX. It looks the same. I did mention yesterday we were looking at the 60-minute on the S&P 500. Let's go over to it. I mentioned it seemed like this around this 1,090 or so seemed to be support yesterday. We went a little below it today, but we still have this area of support that the bulls seem to be defending down here on the S&P. So keep an eye on that. Let's look at some of the market leaders. Goldman Sachs got a good pop today, had good volume behind it. Looks like it's possibly in a kind of a falling wedge, descending wedge, whatever you want to call it. So keep an eye on that. I talked about, if you didn't buy it down here, buy it at a break maybe above here, around 170 or so. Apple got its pop today, lots of buying, popped right back up. Let's look at gold. Gold still, the gold ETF still defending this 110 area, so keep an eye on that. You could probably start buying there. Silver today, maybe or not. Silver broke down a little lower, but still about this 17 area or so. It seems to be defending that at least for now. Something else to watch. Let's look at some miners. Since they performed pretty well today, let's look at ABX. I love this one because it has recently broke out of this massive ascending triangle. So I really like Barrick Gold. If you want to buy a miner, it's back to around this 40 area. Should be strong support. There was buying that kicked in today. You got low risk entry here. So I like ABX. If you're wanting to get it, jump back into a miner. IM Gold's got some support around this 17 level. Some buying there today. EGO, Eldorado Gold, again buying near the support at 1250. GOLD, I mean. Rand Gold, again, some buying today around the support area. And if you want a kind of a cheaper one, this kind of a mineral play, but there was also a little bit of buying today. It wasn't much volume though, so keep an eye on this one. But the little bit of buying here, maybe it's trying to consolidate around this 310 area on NXG. 12 of the 16 sectors we follow finished in the green today. Of course, the gold index, the GOX, had the largest percent gain, up 2.65%. The weakest sector was S&P retail index. We followed the RLX, and it was down 0.72%. Let's take a look at the VIX. VIX was down 4% today. Still weren't able to overcome this downtrend line that I spoke of yesterday. So that's positive for the market, at least for now. Let's go over for chart watch. Let's take a quick look at some of the charts we've been talking about. Rock still looks good. So this 15. WW recently broke out. It's consolidating. It looks pretty good. GFRE, chemical manufacturer, still stuck in. It's right up here. You can't even see it. It's been like really tight range here. It's dying to break out. Big had great earnings, been on fire. Watch it though, see if it goes higher or see if it has a pullback. You can probably buy it on the dip. Whirlpool back down to a support area where it broke out of this channel. Might be worth a look. Wal-Mart still stuck in its channel. Looks like they broke below it today, but some buyers stepped in, tried to save it. Ag, the AGUs, awesome. AUO, still like this. Optronics broke out of this inverted hinge shoulder, still consolidating right there. Looks good. AVB, Avalon Bay, RIT, consolidating right up here. IYR didn't go anywhere unless IYR takes off. Well, of course, the AVB and all that will be pulling it with it, but still worth watching. Plum Creek Timber still looks good up here. It's got a lot of resistance at 36. If it goes through there, I expect it to go blow right through there. So keep an eye on that. Keep it on your radar. Asia still looks good. Really low volume today on the 1% decline. Nutrisystem still looking good. And we had some bearish plays. Weatherford, it did bounce off the downtrend line just like it has been, so you probably could get in and jump out here around the 1750 or so. Baker Hughes could be it could have a little bit of a wedge pattern. It may stop somewhere in this area. Just keep an eye on that one. I'd rather, if I'm going to be bearish on, I'd rather buy a put like right here as opposed to here. So rig had broken down big yesterday. You could buy another put here if you weren't good on that. What else we got? Let's see. Let's go over to the website. I also wanted to show you this breakdown in the WTIC, the West Texas Intermediate Crude we've been talking about. We did get that breakdown like I spoke of yesterday. We've been watching this since oil was so weak today. So I do expect a very good possibility crude's going to pull back to down in this area, this price objective on the point and figure chart of around 65. That's what the point and figure chart has calculated. It may not be right to it, but somewhere in that. So that's pretty weak. Possibility that we may get a bounce back up to this area of 73 or so before we turn back down, but keep an eye on oil because it was really weak today after the report came out. Then over to the website, let's take a look at the current market signals. We follow the point and figure charts for the Dow, the Nasdaq, and the S&P. All three indices remain on buy signals, and as I mentioned yesterday, to watch the Dow, if it prints 10,200, it will go back onto a sell signal. That did not happen today, so all three remain on buys. That's it for today. Thanks for joining me, and remember to always invest sharp.